Hey, how's it going? Welcome to News Act 25th January 2022. Look front the papers. First up, New York Times, picture from the front lines in Ukraine. Wall Street line go down and up. Wall Street Journal, Ukraine again, line go down and up. Apollo co-founders dispute boils over with bitterness. That's Leon Black, former head of Apollo Global Management, having a tit for tat with the co-founder Josh Harris. He alleges that Josh Harris planted stories against him, that type of thing. Don't think Josh Harris needed to plant stories against him, given that Leon Black paid Jeffrey Epstein, the billionaire pedophile financier did not kill himself, or IP, $158 million in fees after Epstein pleaded guilty to soliciting prostitution from a teenage girl. No mention Jeffrey Epstein in that article. Curious. USA Today, synagogue attack, down the bottom, feature about Latinx people. National Post propaganda, for some reason the Liberals are all out on social media, posing very gravely at the camera with a sign that says hashtag stand with Ukraine. I'm sure Vlad is just shaking in his boots over that one. Grandma from Cuba, speaking of Vlad, he was on the phone with Miguel Diaz-Canel Bermudez yesterday, and they had a cordial and fruitful conversation. Would have liked to listen in on that one. I wonder, do they speak Russian, Spanish, or English to each other? Down the bottom, quote from Fidel, universities must act in accordance with the interests and needs of the country. Yes, if only they did that. Thank you, Fidel. South Africa, true crime COVID, Jerusalem Post, Netanyahu COVID, Tehran Times, Vienna nuclear talks, gun violence in America line go up, Russia, the Hindu, some kind of a story about letting Hindu pilgrims fly from Pakistan to India is previously not allowed, now they're looking to allow it. The Australian true crime $20 million deal frees the Aboriginal flag for all. Apparently the rights to the Aboriginal flag were sold to a private company, and then they lashed out and gave people copyright infringement notices that they had to take it down. So now the federal government have bought the rights, and apparently it's free for everyone to use. Some people not happy. Global Times China, top right, British blogger's prank exposes ignorance of West China hands. This lad made a YouTube video where he basically said, look, I have this card, and on it says positive content payment card, so as if he was getting paid to make positive content about China, but apparently it actually just said social security card, and a lot of people bought this hook, line and sinker, and so now they're using this to say, people who attack China all the time are just looking for stuff that confirms their bias, and they're not willing to research it, like they bought this guy's completely nonsense story. Fair enough. Down there, Ukraine, Irish Examiner, new laws to protect remote workers. Okay, top left, room with a view, key to surviving the rental market is the answer: buy or inherit a house. Ireland tells Russia war games not welcome. That was yesterday. Russians going to test some of their guns 240 kilometres off the coast. True crime down the bottom. Irish Sun, post office pension lad buries Uncle Patter. That's that lad who apparently allegedly brought his dead uncle to the post office to claim his pension. Down here, the Russian war games on the left. Thirst. Irish Daily Mail, kind of lifestyle crap. Russia war games. The Herald. Boris Johnson broke the rules again at a lockdown birthday party. Yet another leak, drip of yet another party that happened. There's Boris out jogging the dog. Can we just zoom in for a sec on Boris's attire while he's out jogging? Bermuda shorts on the bottom, and on the top, a white shirt underneath a black jumper. That is just deranged. He should be locked up for that. Financial Times, line went up, then down. Top left, Taylor, two banks. Allied Irish trumps Goldman for value. Allied Irish, of course, one of the banks that was basically nationalised during the crisis. The Irish government owned 93% of it, and now they're re-privatising it, so selling off the shares again. Love to see the neoliberal doctrine in full effect. Let everything decide by the free market. Unless it's a key institution that props up the entire system, then you have to make the private debt public, and then when you have the chance, re-privatise the debt. Good times. Down here, NATO, Russia, Boris, Guardian, Boris with a cake, which looks absolutely horrible. Down the bottom, Ukraine, Times, Boris, Ukraine, Richard Branson, what's wrong with schools? Should we really be taking advice from billionaires about education system? Let me know what you think in the comments. Daily Telegraph, Boris, Putin, Ukraine, Independent Force on top, Brexit, ISIS, NHS, some lifestyle crap. Boris, the Islamophobia story from yesterday. Daily Mail, lifestyle. Prime Minister's Mr. Brexit, kill off the tax hike. So Daily Mail now basically teeing up Boris for an easy win, saying they need to spike the tax hike, the national insurance tax hike. You really have to wonder. There's Boris with the horrible cake again. Daily Express, Boris, Putin, Ukraine. Daily Mirror, Boris, birthday bash. iNewspaper, Boris, Ukraine, Putin. Metro, Boris, Putin, Ukraine. Daily Star, Boris, thirst posting on the left. Up here, I'm no Egypt. So this is this lad, Declan Hockney, the guy who was accused of bringing his dead uncle to the post office to claim his pension. But he says here, he brought him down, he was walking like normal, and he reckons he died on the way. He only realised when he collapsed in the post office that he was dead. Now, it's worth mentioning that the police have not arrested him. They don't suspect foul play or anything like that. And Declan Hockney here himself, he said, people in the town are saying I'm a drug addict. Like, I'm 13, 14 stone. Do I look like a drug addict? And he said, them days are gone. I'm off the gear 3 years in May. Fair play to him. Getting off heroin is pretty hard. Shaking off the stigma of previously being a drug addict is basically impossible. Interesting that people also jumped to the conclusion that he needed the money because he was a drug addict, not that he needed the money because of the increased cost of living or the fact that he's unemployed. His uncle clearly needed the pension. The state pension is a pittance, very little money, and they wouldn't give it to him, so he had to drag his sick uncle down to the post office. Maybe that's what killed him. So universal basic income now, please. Thank you. I have to say, this week is bugging me. I feel like we're stuck in a groundhog week of the news cycle. It's just Boris and the Ukraine, same as it was last week, same as it was the week before. Hopefully we get these two things gone out of the news cycle and we can move on, but most likely not. It'll just be the same old guff again. Anyway, Boris still the Prime Minister, Prince Andrew still the Duke of York, Julian Assange is still in jail at Her Majesty's pleasure in solitary confinement without fair trial due process in Belmarsh prison. They have ruled that his appeal can go ahead, so let's hope for something good in that case. Alright, if you want to stay off corporate, social, state media for the day, just click the link in the description. Alright, thanks, good luck.